Yo, who should I play?
I don't know.
I'll just let the game choose, I guess. Bro.
Hey guys, English Pastry here, and in this video I'm going to teach you guys roles in Siege and exactly how you should choose operators and team compositions on attack in Rainbow Six Siege. Let's go. Before we get started, quick reminder, if you like this kind of content, please subscribe, leave a like, comment, whatever. Now let's get into it. Now the first thing you guys really need to know when choosing your attacking operators are the roles in Siege. There are generally three basic roles when attacking. I'm just going to do a quick overview of what each role is and does. The first role is entry. Generally, you have two players that are your dedicated entries. The basic premise of an entry player is that you're going to gain map control. You will be the one that will generally enter the map first and gain that primary map control, oftentimes being the one that deals with the roamers. You usually want to use your utility pretty early in the round because oftentimes you will die first. Now, a couple of operators you want to use when playing entry would be Ash, Buck, Sophia, Sledge, Twitch, and there are some others, but those are the basic ones I'd use. Now the next role I'm going to talk about is the flex role. Usually you'll have one player on this role, and like the name suggests, they're the flexible player. They'll usually be the player that uses an OBJ or strat specific operator. If you need a Capital to fire or smoke something, they'll play Capital. If you need a Maverick, they'll oftentimes play Maverick. IQ, they'll be on IQ. How they play really just depends on the operator that they pick. If they're playing IQ, they'll play exactly how an IQ should, and scan for gadgets, give callouts, eliminate yokais. They'll usually be above sight. Although one last little playstyle tip for flex players, they're often the ones that will fill in for an entry player. Say an entry dies early to a roamer, it's the flex player's job to fill in that spot as his next entry. I already kind of mentioned this, but operators you often play as a flex include Maverick, Habana, IQ, a Capital, Montang, or maybe Nomad. Now the last role there is in a siege attack is the support role. Usually you'll have two players play on support. The primary job of this role is oftentimes opening up main walls. There are many other jobs that a support player actually has, so I'm just going to go quick chronological order of what they should do. The first job of a support player is to not die early. Oftentimes a support player doing the job is the reason you win or lose a round. You need to be alive to do that job. Once you've not died, the next job of a support player is a drone. They want to be droning for the entry players in the early stages of the round, allowing them to gain the map control they need. As a support player, you could be set to drone for the first half of a round. But once you've gained that map control, your next job is your primary job, which is to open those main walls and hatches. Once you've done that, you could be assigned to plant, stop rotates, watch a specific line of sight, and really just do whatever is needed to win that round. For operators you really play, you're going to be playing Thatcher and Thermite almost exclusively. However, on some maps like say Coastline, you don't really need either of them. Or sometimes on other maps, both of them might even be banned. So in that case, you oftentimes play a Maverick, Habana, possibly Cali, or you'll just fill in as another flex player. Now that's just the very basics of roles. So if you guys want to see an in-depth guide on each role, I'll probably throw a card above so you can just let me know there. Now when it comes to filling the roles, it obviously works best in a 5-stack. In the instance that you are solo queued though, there's really nothing that you can do besides filling in the gaps. I recommend you pick your operator last to see what operators you still need for an attack. If you need a Thermite, you're going to play Thermite. If you need a Thatcher, play Thatcher. Play based off what your teammates pick and play, and you can usually fill most roles for a successful attack. Now if you're queuing with a couple people, but not a 5-stack, I recommend playing operators or roles that require communication with each other. The reason I say that is because you'd be playing to your biggest advantage when queuing with people, that being easy communication. An example for this would be playing two support players, an entry into support, and etc.
Alright, now that you guys know what roles are, I'm going to basically walk you through how I would pick a team composition. Now when you first pick a team composition, you're really going to have to think about what your general push is going to be before you pick it. Obviously we're on bank here, and we're going to say we're attacking the basement objective. And we're gonna have the bands be just Mira, Jackal, Blitz, and Echo. I'd say pretty standard bands for like a gold level game or whatever. And our basic push, my basic plan, we're just gonna do a standard server take, and then we're just gonna plant there. You know, pretty standard. And first, I usually use a 3-step kind of process to decide what operators to bring. The first thing I'm gonna look at is hard breaching. Now, hard breaching for the standard plant here, we're usually gonna want these 2 walls right here, and then we're for sure want to get this hatch. This hatch is probably where we want to get that hatch, and this one's just kind of a bonus. So for sure 2 walls, for sure 2 hatches, third one's kind of extra. And now we have to decide what operators do we want to open these hatches and walls. Obviously for these walls, we're going to want thermite. There's no bandit tricking. It's going to be really simple for a thermite to get these 2 walls. So that's our first operator. And now our second one, these hatches. There's obviously 3 of them we could get. So Habana would work here, but we could also pick Maverick. It really just depends on the advantage. There's some advantages and disadvantages to running Habana versus Maverick. Obviously, the first one for running Habana is the big advantage for running Habana is that you'll get all 3 hatches, and it's really simple and easy. But the disadvantage is that you're gonna have to bring Thatcher, which is gonna be eat into our team composition, and then you're not gonna get the same utility as a Maverick because you don't have nades. So I'm gonna pick Habana here because it's just gonna be a lot simpler. If you have someone that's good with Maverick, Maverick would work really well here because you can just get this hatch and then probably this one or maybe this one. But we're just gonna play Habana here. And then, like I said, we're gonna have to play Thatcher in case one of these hatches is this hatch or this hatch is kited. We're gonna have to play Thatcher, so that's gonna be our third operator. And before we get into the next part, I'm just gonna assign quick roles. Thermite is gonna be our was a support, and along with Thatcher, and then we're gonna have Habana as our flex player. And the next thing, our next process, we're just gonna go through counter stratting. Now, defenders to stop this plant, most people do. They usually play a C4 or a smoke behind here. So to stop that, there's a couple things you can do. You can either chuck a nade back there, or you can Capitao. Now, obviously, Capitao, he's not really an entry player, I'd say, and we still need 2 entries. So I'm going to play someone with an 8 here. We're just going to throw Sludge in there. And now another thing that you'll see defenders do on this map, since Echo is banned, they're going to be playing Maestro, and they're going to be placing a Maestro cam right there. So to stop that, you could use a Sludge nade, or we're going to play another entry. We're just going to play Sophia, mainly because of her utility. She brings a lot of utility, and she has a great gun. And so that's basically our 5 operators. But the third step, if there was one, would be soft breaching. If you need any extra soft breaching, like any vertical play, like a sledge or a buck, obviously there isn't any on bank, so you don't really need to worry about that. But if there was, that would be the next thing I talk about. That's really it. We have our 5 operators. We have our 2 entries, which are Buck and Sophia. Nope, Sledge and Sophia. Forgetting my own thing. And then we have our flexes, Habana, and then we're gonna have Thermite and Thatcher be our support players.
Thinking that through and planning that out took like, what, how many minutes? You're not going to have time to do this every single round. There are a couple options to speed up this process. One of those options is A, assigning a role to each member, or B, have pre-made team comps for different maps and different sites. Now you could probably tell which one is easier. It's going to be A. To do this, all you really need is a general idea for how you plan on an attack. And once you have that communicated to your team, you can have each individual in your team think through their role and pick who they think they need. It will require a little bit of thinking from everybody, and oftentimes you could have some small confusions, but it will be a lot more efficient. Now option B, you can simplify this. The simplest way is just think through the site once, and then whenever you play that site, use the same operators, and maybe tweak it, as you play it a little bit more. But you can also go as in-depth as writing up a strat, then going into custom games and practicing the strat. There is a reason why pros develop and practice all these different strats and counter strats using specific operators. Don't worry if you don't go this far in depth. I would only really go this far if you're planning on playing competitive. Pick an option A or B just depending on your skill level of your team. If you're high ranked, maybe you can go with B and do pre-made stuff. But if you're, say, gold and below, simply doing A will be good enough for your rank. All in all, as a quick summary for picking team comps, it's really about filling the 3 general roles in your team and bringing the utility necessary for the general push you plan on doing. That's what I got for you guys. Hope you enjoy, and if you like this kind of content, I ask you to just simply hit that subscribe button. Let me know down below if you have any questions, and also if you have any suggestions for future videos, let me know them down in the comments below. If you're really feeling it, you can even like the video. Who am I kidding? I'll see you guys next time.